Hey guys, it's Melvin. I didn't know if you guys knew, I have a very small NES collection that I kind of just wanted to go over today. A lot of these were at my friend's house, and I just got them back, so I thought I'd go over them, just something to do on a lazy day off. A lot of these titles, they're really not worth any money. This is just stuff that when I initially went out to do this, is stuff that I had as a kid or I rented from a video store as a kid, and they're hopefully some of my favorite games. Some of them were just filler or just extras. First one, Double Dragon 3, not bad. Not bad. Not as good as the first two, but alright. Solar Jetman, I've actually never played this. A lot of these games I can't play right now because I ordered Retron 5, and the one I received did not work at all. So unfortunately I didn't get my money back for that. I'll probably get another Retron later on when I have some extra money saved up. But for right now, these they're just kind of shelf decorations. Beret Fighter I had as a kid. This is a really awesome side shooter. Don't know what else to say about it. As a kid, I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. And now I'm like, you can see why the 80s kids were so hyped about things like that. Romance, the Three Kingdoms. I wish I had the manual for this because this is an excellent RPG strategy game. But without the manual, it's incredibly hard to figure out. It's been so many years since I played this that when I had a working Retron, it took me 5 minutes to get way too frustrated. I had this as a kid, Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden 3, this one is actually worth a little bit of money, not much. It's kind of an uncommon game. I bought a lot when I got most of these, so Jeopardy, that was included. Dragon Warrior. If I ever get I have to go on YouTube University and get a watch battery to replace the one in here because this is an RPG. I know this one is the watch battery has to be dead. This is the 25, 30 something year old game, but I would love to go back and replay this if I could once I get a watch battery. Star Wars. This is one of my favorite games as a kid. A lot of people don't like it because it's a lot of exploring during the game. You don't know where you're going. A lot of pitfall traps. If you fall even a short distance, you die. When I was a kid, I was actually able to beat this in one weekend, so I got lucky. But yeah, I absolutely had to pick this up. This is one of my favorites from when I was a child. Burger Time, one of my favorite games of all time. Used to be on Atari. They made one for the Nintendo. Loved it. Wrecking Crew, one of the original NES games. Never played it, but I've seen reviews on it. And once I actually get a working console, I'll pop it in. What really started me on trying to do an NES collection is I wanted to start with simple goals because there are so many NES games. So one of my very first goals was I wanted all the wrestling games on the NES. And I'm missing one. I forget what it's called. It's the is it the All-Star excuse me, the All-Star Wrestling. It's the one that's not associated with the WWE, or in this case, the WWF. But I wanted all the WWF games that I could get. So you have the very first WrestleMania. This I had as a kid, WrestleMania Challenge. Played the crap out of this as a kid. These two I used to rent from video stores when I could. Not really the best, but they're okay. Steel Cage and King of the Ring. This is as far as I know, the only WCW wrestling game on the NES, and there are not many WCW games out there, so I doubt this is worth any kind of money, but it's nice for me to have because I'm a wrestling fan. Oh, what do I got next? Rygar, this is actually a decent little game. Captain Skyhawk is something I had as a kid. Not a very hard game, but it's a fun shooter. It's got different levels. Sometimes you're over the top shooting, sometimes you're in mid-air combat, but it's pretty good. And of course, we have the classic trilogy, Mario Brothers, Mario 2, Granddaddy of them all, Mario 3. Werewolf. Not a lot of people know about this game. I had it when I was a kid. Never beaten it, but it was one of my favorite games. One of the levels got really tricky, where I thought it's a side-scroller kind of fighter. One of the levels, when you got to a certain point, I didn't see there's a little sign on the screen, and it tells you to go down. I never saw that, so I never got past, I think it was stage 4 or stage 5, because I thought you had to keep going, and I couldn't figure out why I kept dying. Of course, the very first NES game I ever owned, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I loved this as a kid. This was my bread and butter. Pretty hard game. Once you figure out, it's still pretty hard. You got to get lucky sometimes, but I love this game. Next one is Strider. I've never beaten it. I've played it a couple times. This was a big deal when I was a kid. This one I actually got done probably about, a year ago or something. I was playing with my buddies. Ghosts and Goblins. This is one of the hardest games you will ever play in your life. But it's a great game, and I absolutely love having it. Like I said, doubt any of this stuff is worth any money. This is a filler game that came with a lot. Trick shooting. Yeah. Nice to have. I have 2 copies of Faxanadu. This is a really, really good action RPG for the NES. I played it as a kid. I beat it as a kid. I got lucky because I ordered a copy, and in the lot I got, it had another copy, but this is absolutely an kind of under the radar title. Not a lot of people talk about it. This is really good. Bionic Commando, this is one of the big ones from back in the 80s. Everybody loved this game. Got this one remote control just because it reminded me of the old school MTV days before MTV got so screwed up. The original, haven't played it, love the second one, but this is the original Mega Man. And of course, the last one, and probably least of all the Castlevania series, Simon's Quest. Sorry I haven't had a lot of videos lately. Work has been incredibly busy. Slide that back right there. Work's been incredibly busy. I had to get my car fixed a couple times. Been super short on money. But I was just kind of looking through the shelves going, wow, I got all this really cool stuff over here and I haven't talked about it. So there you go. Not only PS3 collecting, but I do a little bit of everything. So it's a tiny little collection. I think there's maybe 30-something games here, but it's a nice little lot to have. So hope you guys are doing well. Take care. Bye.